Hey guys, how's it going? Well, as a lot of people know that I mess around with these old Plymouth Valiants, and so I get a lot of questions about the ones that were used in Duel, the movie that was back in 1971 or so. So I thought I would talk about that a little bit, maybe share what I've found out about it and things like that. You might find it interesting. Now, this car you see here being chased by the truck, this is the one that you'll see the most in this video, this movie rather. It is a 71 of V8. I know it's a V8 because it's got the emblem on that emblem right there on the upper fender. So that's an actual V8 car, 318 V8. So that's the one, when this movie first came out, it was a movie of the week and it was only 60 minutes. So they added some scenes, and a couple of years later, and they used another car because the first one had been destroyed. We know it's not a 70 because these are the 70 hubcap selections. You got the standard on the left, optional wire in the middle, and then the rally on the right, which you never saw on a Valiant. They said you could get it, but I never saw it, and I don't think anybody else has either. So we know that car is not a 70, but here's the 71 wheel cover selections. This is one you see on that car, that there in the left, and then in the center of the wire, and then on the right the rally. So the car that's used for the majority of the movie is a 71. I also had a 71. That was the only year of those hubcaps. They called them watermelon hubcaps. Here's the 72 selections. You'll notice that the wheel covers changed again, and there were only two different ones. They did away with the wire wheels, and so doesn't have either of those, obviously. But now, what's funny though, the car that's used later to replace some scenes is a 72. Here's a good look at the inside of the 71 that's used throughout the movie. It shows Dennis Weaver driving there. And look at the upholstery on it. You'll notice that certain type of upholstery. It's brown. It's got a tan inset. I know for a fact that's a 71 only upholstery. There it is. There's what you saw in the order guide if you went to the dealership. And that's that. That's the optional upholstery with fold down armrest. And then we're probably going to be seeing the color that it is here anytime. There it is on the left. That's L4 T7 tan, two-tone tan. It's really attractive upholstery. I had a 71 that was white, and it had the black. It was black upholstery with a silver inset. Really charcoal, I guess it's called. Really nice. So this establishes that that was a 71 car. They probably just bought it off the dealership somewhere. It was code E5 bright red. You see on the left, the right rear corner there, right lower corner. And that was not a very popular color for a Valiant. There was only about 5% of 71 Valiants were painted that color. A lot of greens were popular, and browns and tans. Now this is, you see this car pulling up. This is one of the added in scenes, but he's pulling up to the bus to try to push the bus here. And this is supposed to be a totally added in scene to extend the movie running length so they could release it theatrically. But what's funny about that, if you look here coming up, I noticed that the car there that's pulling up to the back of the bus, that's a 71 because look at the marker lights. You see it has the flush mounted marker lights, which was 71 down. 72 used a different marker light. So I'm sorry. So that's a legitimate 71 there. But here's the car that's lodged up under the bumper of the bus, the close-ups. You'll notice two things here. You'll notice, number one, it has a different 72 up marker light, the big bulky one, and notice that rectangular silver piece of tape up there. That's supposed to, I guess, try to mimic the actual V8 emblem on the original car. Here's another look at it. See now, it's just a piece of tape. So that car was, who knows what it was if it was a 72. They stopped that V8 emblem stuff, so even a V8 would not have some sort of emblem in 72. So it's two different cars there. One scene of the movie, two different cars. Now here's the car where he pulls up at the railroad crossing. This is supposed to also be an added in scene. But this car looked heavily made up to me. I was just looking at it. I stopped and reversed through the movie several times to look at it. This is a 72. And we're going to know that for sure because if you look right here, you'll notice that There again, there's the 72 up marker light, the big plastic bulky one, and you can't easily change those between the cars. I mean, it's take total reconstruction of that area to do it. So that's legitimately a 72 Valiant that he's sitting in at the railroad crossing. Here again, look at the left side of this car. I noticed that this car, this is a 72, this is right after he gets across the tracks and is up on the bank. And notice it has this weird looking rocker trim and those trim up and down the doors. Those are just add-ons. Somebody's done that with some metal or some chrome tape or something. Because here's the original 71 car that you see in most of the other parts of the movie and has no door trim on it. That was not common on a Valiant anyway, to have that edge trim. That looked like something you could get at Kmart or something. So they made the second car to look like the first one, but they screwed up there though. Now here's where he backs off the bank, and you'll notice that it has a garish looking fake trunk trim on the bottom. I think that was added on. Also in this part of the movie, if you have the TV version of this movie, you can hear this car running, and it actually is a slant six. You can clearly hear the exhaust on it when it's sitting there for a moment. Here's the 71 that's used through the rest of the movie. You notice the trunk trim looks original and it looks legitimate. It looks a lot different. And also the rocker trim is a little bit different too. It looks like it belongs there. So again, two different cars, clearly two different cars used in the movie. So it's interesting. Now this is where he pulls in back towards the front of the movie. I was trying to figure out which one this was. This is a 72. So this must have been an added in scene to the movie. And so we know that, and then that was part where he goes in and talks to his wife. Now look at the mirror. This is a mirror on that car I just showed you. The rearview mirror, it's a day-night mirror, but look at the handle on it. It's a small chrome handle knob, I guess, on that car, which was a 72. And then if you look at the car that he drives through the rest of the movie, the original movie car, which is the 71, look, that rear view mirror has a totally different adjustment knob on it. It has a thick black plastic one at the bottom of it. And you see that car, same thing throughout the whole movie. So again, distinctly two different cars, plus the mirror's angled differently also. So that was interesting. And then here's another shot, and this is when he's trying to get past the truck on the mountain and makes a run for it. This is the 318, original 318 car, the 71, in the original part of the movie. You can tell it's definitely the same car. And then when he pulls into the Snakerama, I noticed must be the 72 because they left off the emblem, the piece of tape on the right side of the fender. They didn't even bother to put it on. You can look at there clearly and see it's not there. There's no emblem there at all. So a 71 slant 6 will not have an emblem there either, but a V8 would. Now here's where he's taking off out of the Snakerama at full speed, and interestingly enough, this is back to the 71 car. So you can tell by the marker lights. The marker lights are absolute a giveaway on that. So not sure how many cars they used in this movie, but I hope you found this interesting, guys. I thought we'd do a little research on this. Again, you know, that's been a long time ago and nobody really has any concrete information, but we know at the very least there was a 71 original movie car, which was a 318, and then a 72 slant 6.